Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, distinguished participants, it is with great pleasure that I join you virtually for this important event on the nexus between culture and peace in Africa, a critical precondition for enhancing the well-being of our people and for the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. I wish to acknowledge the chairman of the South-South Cooperation Council, SSCC, the Philippine Senate and other partners, especially UNESCO, for putting together this program that has drawn the participation of eminent personalities of diverse professional backgrounds. It is gratifying that my compatriot and chair of the SSCC Office for Africa, Mr. Ladi Nylander, will also be sharing some perspectives on the linkage between culture and peace. Distinguished participants, despite Africa's immense wealth and resources, including a youthful population, continental efforts to transform the lives of Africans continue to be challenged by unfair international trading policies, illicit financial flows, proliferation of arms, conflicts, terrorism, piracy, trafficking of persons, and lately the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic especially has exposed certain underlying structural inequalities on the African continent. Challenges in the health sector and socioeconomic responses have put a spotlight on the inequalities and barriers in the distribution of vital public services and the marginalization of vulnerable groups. The increasing demands across the continent for good governance and better management of Africa's resources and the continuing impact of the pandemic convey an urgency for quick and effective solutions, even as extremists and terrorists defeated elsewhere seek to exploit vulnerable segments in the part of the continent. As we recover from the damaging impact of COVID-19, we have the opportunity as a continent to rebuild economies that are resilient and not depend on foreign aid. This requires robust planning, more resilient financial systems and management, and strengthened multilateral cooperation, including a reformed global public health system. African governments have spent scarce resources fighting the COVID pandemic and providing social protections to millions of affected households. The need for innovative financing to address structural challenges beyond responding to immediate fiscal needs is imperative. We call for mechanisms to facilitate investments in health infrastructure, technology, the environment, and people that would bolster resilience and equitable recovery. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has since 2017 adopted policies and programs to ensure that the SDGs do not remain an illusion. Besides the alignment of the SDGs with Ghana's development agenda and annual budgets, active collaboration among all ministries, departments, and agencies, the private sector, and civil society has led to high rates of growth and great progress towards achievement of the goals before the onset of COVID-19. The government of Ghana is also committed to the work of the United Nations in norm setting, capacity building, and advocacy for human rights and respect for international law. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is actively engaged in international facilitators' work as co-chair of the SDGs advocates. In addition, the President also plays an active role within the African Union and ECOWAS to address the many issues bedeviling the continent. Indeed, on matters of security in West Africa, the Accra Initiative, the brainchild of the President of Ghana, that has virtually become an ECOWAS initiative, is facilitating intelligence sharing and enhanced cooperation among the signatories in the sub-region. Within the wider Sahel region, from where terrorism and free flow of arms are threatening peace and security in West Africa and beyond, Ghana is at the forefront of regional and continental initiatives to contain the situation. Under the leadership of His Excellency the President, ECOWAS is collaborating with the United Nations and other development partners to address the security concerns originating from the Sahel. Mr. Chair, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, peace and security and development cannot be achieved without democracy. Ghana is committed to democracy and the rule of law, and we are an ardent champion of these values in international engagements, particularly at the regional and continental levels. We are convinced that arts, culture, and heritage are central to the promotion of peace and security. The quest for peace must reflect the cultural context of people and the values of the United Nations, our larger contemporary cultural framework. Any sustainable endeavor in the pursuit of peace in Africa or anywhere in the world must accordingly take due cognizance of the way of life, the language, religion, and culture of the people and parties that are involved. Understanding a community's art and culture is key to understanding their needs and aspirations and the consequent definition of effective problem-solving strategies. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the government and people of Ghana recognize the benefits that can be derived from arts and culture, and we have paid special attention to the developments in that sector. Notable events recently spearheaded by government include the Year of Return in 2019. This landmark event drew the participation of members of the global African family, home and abroad, to mark 400 years of the arrival of the first enslaved Africans in Jamestown, Virginia. While celebrating the cumulative resilience of all the victims of the transatlantic slave trade, the event created an avenue for Africans and Afro-descendants in the diaspora to contribute to Ghana's development paradigm. The Beyond the Return initiative was marked thereafter to consolidate the achievements of the Year of Return. Against this background, the government of Ghana stands ready to join collaborations in the field of arts and culture to advance global efforts to improve the lives of people and safeguard our environment. Thank you, and I wish you all successful deliberations.